Hello, class. Hello, class. I'm back again. Charlotte Hubbard Walker with another video. Welcome to my accounting class, my accounting channel. And uh, so today I have a lesson similar to all the rest of the lessons. For starting out, I like to start out with a few important terms or important people in our history. It could be terms or it could be people. So it depending on uh, what I decide for the lesson. So this time I think I have a couple terms, few terms, and maybe a couple important people. So let's get started. Okay. Yes. First one I have is John Quincy Adams. So John Quincy Adams. He was the sixth president of the United States. Okay, he was an American statesman, diplomat, lawyer, and diarist who served as the sixth president of the United States from 1825 to 1829. He was the eldest son of John Adams. John Adams was his father, and he was also the president during a different time. Okay, John Quincy Adams conducted a consistent and often dramatic fight against the expansion of slavery. So, in other words, he was against slavery. It says he often, he conducted a consistent and often dramatic fight against the expansion of slavery. So he was against the expansion of slavery. So I assume he wanted to abolish slavery as well as some of the other presidents, and Frederick Douglass, and we have Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass, and a whole lot of others that fought against slavery. And also it says he graduated from Harvard College in 1787, and he was admitted to the bar in Boston at that time. So that's John Quincy Adams, the sixth president of the United States of America. And he served as the sixth president. He was a statesman, diplomat, lawyer, and diarist. Okay, so there's just a few little things. And also it says, he watched the battle. He watched the battle of Bunker Hill from Penn's Hill and heard the cannons roar across the Back Bay in Boston. So in other words, he was there and present, and he watched the battle of Bunker Hill. He watched the battle of Bunker Hill from where he was standing, I guess. From, it says, where he was standing is called Penn's Hill, and he heard the cannons roar across the Back Bay in Boston. So that's John Quincy Adams. So then I want to go into a term that we all should make ourselves familiar with, and that is the Fourth Amendment. The Fourth Amendment. The Fourth Amendment prohibits unreasonable searches and seizures. The right for people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause to place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. So in other words, if they have a search warrant and they come into your house, they can only search the areas that the search warrant specifies. In other words, they have a search warrant from the judge, from the court, and whatever area that they allow to search, that's going to be in the search warrant. And so they have to, in other words, have probable cause. I guess once they get probable cause, they take their findings to the judge, and that's where they get their search warrant from the judge. It says right for people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, effects against unreasonable searches and seizures. In other words, that's why they always ask you, "Oh, can I search you?" They say, "Can I search you?" So if they have to ask, then you should know your rights. In other words, they can't go in your pocket unless they ask you, can they search you? So in other words, can I search? You have a right to say no. So that is the Fourth Amendment. And then we have the Fifth Amendment. Okay, the Fifth Amendment, due process. The United States Constitution addresses procedure and other aspects of the Constitution, was ratified in 1791 as part of the Bill of Rights. So the Bill of Rights are the first 10 amendments to the Constitution of the United States. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the naval forces. In other words, due process. That's the Fifth Amendment. In other words, you have a right to a fair trial, or you have a right to a trial. So due process. Oh, and then I have we have the First Amendment. We have John Quincy Adams, and we have the Fourth Amendment, Fifth Amendment, First Amendment. First Amendment, freedom of speech, religion. It prevents the government from making laws which regulate an establishment of religion, prohibit the free exercise of religion, or abridge the freedom of speech, press, or the right of the people to peaceably assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievance. So in other words, the First Amendment, you have a right to freedom of speech, religion, freedom of the press, whatever religion you want to practice. They're just saying that, I guess in the First Amendment, a government don't have no right to, the government has no right to make laws which regulate and establish. In other words, the government don't have no right to make laws that can stop you from practicing whatever religion you want to practice. In other words, you want to practice Catholic, Baptist, you want to be a Baptist, you want to be Catholic, you want to be practice Judaism, whatever religion you want to practice. But as long as it doesn't disobey any laws or hurt nobody or disobey any laws, and you can practice whatever religion you want to practice. Okay, so I guess we should know that the first 10 amendments are the Bill of Rights. Okay, the Second Amendment, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed upon. In other words, you got the right to bear arms. In other words, if you follow the rules, you have to follow the rules and laws of your state. You want to have a gun registered or a weapon registered. You have to just follow the rules, and probably have to fill out an application, follow the rules, and because I never had, I believe in the Second Amendment, but I never had, I never was interested in registering firearms and all that, so I really don't know the procedures and all that for that, but I can do my research on it as well. But I know the Second Amendment gives us the right to keep and bear arms. So I guess as long as we follow the rules of our state. So when you go try to purchase a firearm, they'll tell you the rules, what you have to do. You probably have to fill out an application, and then there probably is a waiting period where they do a background check, full background check on you, and also they should be doing mental evaluations on people before they even let them purchase any firearms. Okay, so that is the Second Amendment. So yes, they should be doing mental evaluations on anybody trying to. But a lot of people, they want to exercise their right to the Second Amendment, but they just have to follow the rules. So that's how that goes. And the 10th Amendment, I have The last one, I believe, is the 10th Amendment. The 10th Amendment was ratified December 15th, 1791. The 10th Amendment defines the balance of power between the federal government and the states. The amendment says that the federal government has only those powers specifically granted by the Constitution. So that's the 10th Amendment. And I think that, I got the last one. There's two more. Actually, I got one right here. The 5th President of the United States. The 5th President of the United States, James Monroe. Fifth President of the United States, James Monroe. James Monroe was an American statesman, lawyer, diplomat, and founding father, and he was the 5th president from 1817 to 1825. He was born in Westmoreland County, Virginia, 1758. He attended the College of William and Mary. That's the 5th president, James Monroe. So you can always read up a little more on the 5th president, James Monroe. He was an American statesman, lawyer, diplomat, and founding father, and from 1817 to 1825. Yeah, so he attended the College of William and Mary. I heard about that College of William and Mary. I don't know if they're still in existence, but I assume they may. If they are, they have probably changed a whole lot. Okay, the last one I have is the 12th president. So we have the 12th president of the United States, and his name is Zachary Taylor. Zachary. Yeah, we have the 12th president of the United States, and his name is Zachary Taylor. Zachary Taylor, and that's the 12th president of the United States, Zachary Taylor. So Zachary Taylor was born 1784, and his demise 1850. So Zachary Taylor, he was president from 1849. He was president in 1849. Oh, okay. I think he only was president for 1 year because he passed away a year later. They said he was president in 1849 until his demise. So he was a general and national hero in the United States Army from the time of the Mexican-American War and the War of 1812. Taylor served in the Army almost 40 years, advancing to the rank of Major General in 1846. He commanded troops in the field in the War of 1812 and also the Black Hawk War in 1832. And the second of the Seminole Wars in Florida, 1835 to 1842, in which he won promotion to the rank of Brigadier General for his leadership in the Battle of the Lake Okeechobee, 1837. He was assigned to a post in Louisiana and established his home in Baton Rouge. So he established his home in Baton Rouge. So he only served 1 year. And that's 12th president, Zachary Taylor. He only served 1 year because he passed away. He was president in 1849 and he died in 1850. So they didn't say how he died or whatever, they didn't say. But it says that he was a general and national hero in the United States Army. So in other words, he was in the Army, he was a president, so he did a whole lot. And he was in the Army from the time of the Mexican-American War and the War of 1812. He served in the Army almost 40 years. Imagine being in the Army 40 years. That's our 12th president, Zachary Taylor, was in the Army almost 40 years. And see, it says Taylor served in the Army almost 40 years, advancing to the rank of Major General. He advanced to the rank of Major General in the Army for almost 40 years. So that, I guess, in other words, usually when you be in the Army that long, you enlist for a lifetime. I think they call that, because I had a friend of mine that I know that I grew up with. He was in the Army. He had enlisted in the Army. And then he stayed in there 4 years. And then when I was talking to his family one time, they said, well, he enlisted for life. So he had a lifetime. I didn't know that they did things like that, but that's what they said he did. So, but I guess he finished now. So I don't know if a lifetime is 10 years or 20 years or however. I don't know. I never did any research on that. But that's the last one. So just a few little introductory terms that I like to go over before I start. Okay. So also class, as I said earlier, I like to encourage my students, or I would say my YouTube viewers, to try to purchase this book. If you can find it on Amazon. County, Horngren, Harris, and Robinson, and it's the 3rd edition. So if you try to purchase this book, would be great. So I'm gonna go over. This is called, this is on this page right here, is the rules of debits and credits. So see, that's the rules of debits and credits. In other words, you have your assets and you have your different accounts, and it tells you how to increase a particular account or how to decrease a particular account. So the first account we have, first account I have is an asset. So in other words, if we have an asset account, we want a debit. We want a debit for increase and credit for decrease. So debit for increase and credit for decrease. So in other words, you have an asset account. So if you have an asset account, say for instance you have an asset account cash. If you want to increase your cash account, say for instance you starting a business. If you start a business, you want to put $100,000 in your business. So in other words, you want a debit for increase. When you start your business, you say I want to put $100,000 in my business. So I'll debit it on the left side, because right here is debit for increase and credit for decrease. So in other words, increase means money coming in to the cash account, and credit for decrease, money going out of the credit account, the cash account, asset. So in other words, I started my business with $100,000, so I got $100,000. That makes me, when I put it on the debit side, when I debit cash, that means I'm increasing my cash account. So now if I want to take money out of my, cash account, I want to decrease, I want to credit the cash account. So I might say, hey, let me take $50,000 out. I want to withdraw $50,000 out of my cash account. So I'm going to credit the cash $50,000. And so then that'll bring me back over here. Since I increased my cash account on the left side, which is a debit, then I'll put my balance over here. So I have $50,000 left. Also, if I did that, if I took $50,000 out of my cash account, I would have to also have a separate account. I would have to have a separate account for withdrawals. So that'll be $50,000 that I took out. So I take $50,000 out of my cash account. I always have to create another account called withdrawals, which I debit the withdrawals account, $50,000. So that my balance will be $50,000. So see how I match it? You have cash 50,000, and your withdrawals that you took out 50,000. So you withdrew 50,000 out of your withdrawal, so but you still would have to have this 100 over here. In other words, you had 100,000 over here in your withdrawal account, but you took out 50,000. So that's that one right there. So then the next one we have is liabilities. So we have a liabilities account. So what's happening here is a debit for decrease and credit for increase. So as I said, it's the opposite of a cash account. So in other words, debit for decrease and a credit for increase. So in other words, you have a liability. Say for instance, you have somebody came in your store and they bought something and they created accounts payable. That would be a liability. They created accounts payable. So in other words, when you increase your accounts payable, which is a liability account, you want to credit on the right hand side. So they have accounts payable for $100,000 that they have to pay the company. So I want to credit accounts payable $100,000. So in other words, debit for decrease and credit for increase. So in other words, you're increasing your accounts payable. That means all accounts payable that you have. In other words, if you have people coming in and they're applying for credit, they buying furniture or whatever kind of business that you're running, then that goes on the right hand side. It will be a credit to accounts payable. Once they start paying on their accounts payable, then you're debited. Because there's going to be a debit for decrease. That means once you start paying it, debit for decrease means that it's going down. You will have less accounts payable on your books. So that's that one. So the next one we have, let's do the capital account. In other words, a capital account is a debit for decrease, and we got a credit for increase. So in other words, increase means it gets larger. The account gets larger. The items in your account, it makes the account larger. And debit for decrease means that it's getting smaller. So in other words, you started your company with $100,000. You want to credit the capital account, which is the same as the owner's equity. You want to credit your capital account $100,000 because you started your business with $100,000, and so you credit your capital account, and also that would affect your cash account. See, your cash account would be the debit the cash account $100,000, but we're just talking about the capital account right now. So debit for decrease, credit for increase. So anything coming into the business, you want to credit your owner's equity account, debit your cash account, because that's an increase to cash, and credit to owner's equity. So the next one we have is the withdrawals account. So we have the withdrawals account. And so in other words, you want a debit for increase and credit for decrease. Debit for increase and credit for decrease. So in other words, you have your business. Like I said, I'm running a business and I'm selling these ring technologies. Or even I got a computer company. I got 100,000 computers on hand. My business, I have a certain amount of money already in my business bank account, and I just want to withdraw. need to withdraw 50,000 because I need to go pick these computers up, and I want to pay cash. I don't want to get nothing on account. I don't want to create no accounts payable or no accounts receivable, and within my company. I don't want to create an accounts payable with another company because I don't want to have to worry about owing them paying, on a timely basis, 30, 60, or 90 days. But I just want to withdraw 50,000. So money coming out of my business bank account, I want to debit with the withdrawals account 50,000. So that's the money coming out. Now to this increasing it. But if I want to decrease my withdrawals account, then I can put the money back in there. And that way I won't have any money that came out. I'll put it back in there. So in other words, it say debit for increase because you're increasing your withdrawals. That means you're increasing your money that you're taking out. In other words, you might have 4 or 5 different withdrawals. So in other words, I took out, say for instance, I took out 50,000, then I took out 20,000, I took out 30,000, and I took out 10,000. That's why I say debit for increase, because you are increasing your withdrawals. You have 50,000 here, you took out 20, 30, 10,000. That increases. But when you have money on the credit side, you want to decrease. That means you don't have as many withdrawals. You don't have any. So you have more on the left side. Okay. And so on the next one, let's see. Let's do our revenues and expenses, because those are the 2 tricky ones. Sometimes I get tripped up a little bit on those too. So revenues and expenses. So these are the main accounts. So we got revenues. So in my revenue account, it says debit for decrease. Debit for decrease and credit for increase. So in other words, you got, say for instance, you got a company and you made sales revenue or service revenue. You had money coming in, so I assume since they said credit for increase, in other words, I got sales revenue coming. I made 200,000. I made 200,000. I made 300,000, and I made 100,000. I had 200,000 sales revenue. I had 300,000. Say for instance, I had 300,000 sales revenue. Then I had service revenue, 200 sales and 300 service revenue. Then I had 100,000 for my regular revenue. So that's a 5. That's 600,000. So that's how you increase your revenue account. That's why they say credit for increase. So all the money's coming in to my revenue account. It increases my revenue account, so I will credit my revenue account. So I had sales revenue. My company made $200,000 in sales. Then I had service revenue in my company because I sell a product and I have a service. I offer a service in my company. So that's how they increase the revenue account. So I guess in other words, increase it. You got your revenue. You increase, in other words, you're increasing it and you're decreasing it. Increasing it on the right hand side. In other words, like I said, you got all your sales revenue. You got your sales revenue, your service revenue, and all that on your credit side. So in other words, to decrease it, then you won't. That means you haven't had. Decrease it, I guess that means that you, in other words, if it's coming in, I guess once you pay it out on the left side, you're decreasing it. You have to decrease. In other words, you have 300,000. But I guess once you pay it out, in other words, if you got 300,000 on the credit side, you want to decrease it. Say for instance, you want to have 200,000. You got 4 on this side, 4 items of revenue on this side, but you only have 1 on this side, so you're decreasing it on the left side. So you don't have as many. And the last one is expenses. So we have to review these. So really the revenue, T account, and expenses, those are the 2 tricky ones. So we got the expense account. So we want to debit for increase and credit for decrease. So in other words, you want to debit for increase. Okay, so in other words, you have expenses. You have to pay your employees. You have to pay your gas bill, your electric bill, and your water bill. In other words, you have them all on the left-hand side. You got to pay rent. You have to pay rent, gas, electric. You have to pay rent, gas, and electric. So debit on the left side for increase. In other words, you're increasing your expenses because you're paying all these bills right here. But I guess once you pay them, you go on the right-hand side, which would be a decrease. In other words, you got rent on this side. These are bills right here you have not paid. That's why they increase, because you have 4 of them. You got 4 bills over here that you didn't pay. That's why it's a debit for increase and credit for decrease. In other words, once I pay a couple of them, I'm decreasing my expense account. In other words, I got 4 of them. So if I pay 2 of them over here, I'm decreasing. I have 4 of them over here, so I debit for increase my expense account. Because I had to pay my rent, my gas, my electric, and my water. But I paid my rent and my gas. So that's why once I pay them up, so in other words, that's $50. Rent $50. Once I pay it over here, I'm decreasing. Once I come over here and pay anything, I'm decreasing my expense account. In other words, you got rent, gas, electric, and water. So I paid the rent, so that's a debit for decrease. So all your bills over here on the left side is a debit for increase. So that's your expense account. So it takes a little time to have to, practice. Because once you get these T accounts down, and the different accounts like the revenue accounts, expenses, expense account, revenue, you got your depreciation expense, accumulated depreciation. So once we review all those accounts, and then you do your balance sheet, your income statement, your statement of owners' equity, and then at the end, you come down at the end of the accounting period. You have to be aware to the next process, the next procedure, the closing of the accounts. So we'll work on all that. So I have to review in my book, and I'll review in my book, and I'll write some of that stuff down, take my notes, and get prepared for when I get ready to present that particular class. I want to have all my notes and everything down. Have everything okay, everything ready. So, okay, that is that. I just did a few little. So, let's see. Oh, 35, okay. Let me see if we can find a couple of problems we can work on. Okay, let's see. Let's just do a couple easy ones real quick. Obanowski began the business with an investment of $15,000. He began his business with an investment of $15,000. Chalk. Let me get a better piece of chalk. Okay, 2 T accounts. Okay, it says, Obanowski began his business with an investment of $15,000. $15,000 cash and a building valued at $50,000. So in other words, we want debit cash $15,000 and credit on his equity $15,000. So that's that one. And then yes, because we want to increase the cash account. So he started his business with $15,000. So we want debit cash because it's debit. Remember, we just went over the chart. Debit for increase and credit for decrease. So money coming in is an increase. So he started his business with $15,000. So there's cash $15,000 and credit to owner's equity $15,000. So the second part of the question is about transaction revenue is and he had a building of $50,000. So I'm gonna put it down here. A building of $50,000. So that's I would do building and owner's equity. So the building is worth $50,000. I want to credit my owner's equity account because that's a building. It's an asset, and he invested in the building in his business. So we want to credit owner's equity $50,000, and I want to debit the building account. Debit the building account $50,000 and credit owner's equity $50,000. So in other words, he invested $15,000 in his business cash. So that's why I debit the cash account because of the increase in the cash account, which is an asset account. And then building, he invested the building in his business. So since building is an asset, we want to debit the building account on the left side and credit owner's equity because it goes into the owner's equity account. So in other words, he invested in a building, and the building is worth $50,000 because if he invested a building worth $50,000 in his business, he can always sell that building later on, or just use the building. I guess he used the building to perform his work, to conduct his business. So that's an investment. That's money coming back into the business because he's conducting business out of that building. I don't know if he's selling the product or providing the service. All that is business. So the building. So that's that one. Let's go. Let's see. Let's do maybe 2 more. Okay, he borrowed $25,000 from a bank and signed a note payable. I always start with 2 T accounts. Borrowed $25,000 from the bank. So he borrowed $25,000 from the bank, so 9 times out of 10, he's going to deposit that in his cash account. So that's $25,000. So we want to debit cash $25,000. And he borrowed $25,000. He borrowed $25,000. Did he borrow it on account? Yep, he signed a note payable, so that's going to be notes payable. So I want to debit. I want to credit. I want to credit notes payable $25,000. Right, I do want to debit. I want to debit cash $25,000 because he borrowed money and he signed a note payable. Remember I said in the previous transaction, notes payable, that means it was written down. It was written down on paper. He signed the I call it a contract, so it's a contract. Signed it and written down on paper. That's what they consider a notes payable. We're going to credit notes payable $25,000 and we're going to debit our cash account $25,000. So once he started to pay, then we go over on the debit side of notes payable. So in other words, he owed $25,000, so he hadn't paid anything yet. Once he started paying, we debit it on the left side of notes payable. And then we'll have to create probably a cash account too. So it's going to be coming out the cash account. Once he start paying the notes payable, it'll be a debit to notes payable, and it's going to be a credit to cash once he start paying on that notes payable. Okay, let's see. Let's do one more real quick. Paid $32,000 for transmitting equipment. Paid $32,000. So I'm going to credit my cash account 32 because it comes out of cash. So paid $32,000. Paid $32,000 for transmitting equipment. So in other words, if he paid $32,000 for equipment, it could be owner's equity or equipment. So we paid $32,000 for transmitting equipment. So it's gonna come out. We're gonna credit cash $32,000, and let's do owner's equity. It's coming out of owner's equity $32,000. I feel since it's a business account, I want to debit the owner's equity account and credit the cash $32,000. It also could affect the equipment account. So in other words, transmitting equipment. It say oh, he paid $32,000 for the equipment. If he paid it, so it also will affect the equipment account. It debit the equipment account because you gained an asset, which is equipment. So he paid $32,000 for equipment. So basically, this shows you that he gained the asset, $32,000, which is equipment, and he paid for it out of his cash account. So we want to credit cash $32,000. It also is going to affect owner's equity too. It's coming out the owner's equity account, $32,000. But if he, in other words, he bought the equipment. Let me read that again, class. He paid $32,000 for transmitting equipment. So in other words, he bought some equipment. So you know what? I think I'm going to make that a credit to owner's equity. I think I'm going to do that. Because in other words, he bought some equipment. He bought some equipment for $32,000. So in other words, that looks like since he's gaining an asset, even though he paid for it, he's still gaining an asset. So I think I'm going to credit the owner's equity account because I'm going to debit equipment because he gained an asset, which is equipment. But in other words, we had to credit cash because it's coming out the cash account. But he's still gaining an asset, so that will go to owner's equity, which will be a credit to owner's equity, and then we want to debit the equipment account. So in other words, debit will increase when it comes to the asset account, which is equipment. So I sometimes have to read over these. Like I said earlier, I'm not a teacher, but I do have the foundation, and I can always review in my book. And so let's see. Let's try one more. Purchase office supplies on account for $400. Let's try the 2T account. In other words, the purchase office supplies on account for $400. We want, accounts payable. So in other words, the purchase office supplies on account, that's $400. I want credit accounts payable, and I want to take that out of cash too. I want credit cash $400. So I want credit for decrease when it comes to cash, and debit for increase. So I want credit $400. $400 came out of cash. Accounts payable, credit accounts payable $400 because he bought supplies on account. Purchase office supplies on account. Okay, class. I think that's going to be it for today. I want to close out and I want to say thanks for joining me in my accounting class on my accounting channel. So I really appreciate you tuning in today. So if you have any questions or you have any concerns, always feel free to comment below the video. If you think I have done any of these debits and credits wrong, I always look for constructive criticism. So as I said, I'm not a teacher, but I'm just trying to do the best that I can. And I will review in my book, go over my book and study. So when I was in my accounting class, Straight University, I did get an A in my accounting class. So, but if you feel that I have done any problem wrong, feel free to comment below. So I want to say thanks for joining me. And my accounting class, my accounting channel, and I'm going to get ready to prepare for tomorrow's lesson. So also I want to mention again, you get a chance, try to pick up this book right here. This is accounting, Horngren, Harrison, and Robinson, the 3rd edition, and so, you get a chance, pick this book up from Amazon. You get it used, just get it used so you can, that way you can follow along. And if you have any questions, it would be real good, because if you have any questions or concerns, then you can comment below, because we have the same book. So that'll work just fine. So, all right, class, thanks for joining me. And I'll see you next time. So, tune in to my next video. I'll see you next time. And thanks for joining me. And I want to say, you all have a good one. Have a nice day.